Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 21 of MAD Dialogue with me, Michelle.
And me, Skyla.
I hope everybody's doing well. It's a little bit of a change this week. Skyla is taking the lead. So I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited. So without further ado, let's get straight to it.
Okay, guys. So today we are talking about, and I know probably a lot of you have seen this, but the girl who showed up to her school culture day in a Union Jack flag dress and hat. Now, the dress that this girl wore, it was the one that Ginger Spice wore, you know, not nearly as, grown, very, very tame and everything. Nothing wrong with her outfit per se, other than the fact that the flag was on it. So I'm going to read what the Guardian is saying about this subject, basically. So, father says 12-year-old was not told event in rugby was not for her as she gets to celebrate being British every day. So basically, a diversity day at a secondary school in Warwickshire ended in upset and apologies after a 12-year-old girl wearing a Union flag dress was prevented from delivering a speech she had written about British culture. Pupils at Bilton School in the village of Bilton Rugby were invited to take part in a culture day, decided to recognising and celebrating the rich culture diversity within the school's community. Children were encouraged to wear outfits that reflected their nationality or family heritage to the event last Friday. So Courtney Wright, a year 7 pupil, donned a Union flag dress, obviously similar to the Spice Girls one. Her father said his daughter was removed from the celebration day and was not allowed to deliver her speech, which was intended to celebrate British values of fairness and politeness, as well as traditions such as drinking tea, talking about the weather, and eating fish and chips. The school has since offered their apologies and is deeply regretted this distress caused by the incident and was committed to learning from this experience and ensuring that every student feels recognised and supported when expressing pride in their heritage. So, my point of view in this whole thing is going off of the fact that the student was told, you get to celebrate being British every day, so this day isn't for you. Now, if that was the case if that was what they were coming from as a thing, shouldn't they have specified this in a way at the start of the culture day? But also, then again, if this is her culture, what did they really want her to celebrate then?
I'm so
you know
confused.
What I mean? You can't tell students, oh, it's culture day, so bring your culture, celebrate your culture, and then tell them to leave school basically because they are doing that and such. You know what I mean? Now, a few people I've seen speculating on TikTok and everything have basically said, well, apparently the school told students no flags are allowed. But that just doesn't make sense to me.
But you said there was from reading in the Guardian, there was something about tradition and drinking tea.
Yeah.
Wasn't it something like that you said?
Drinking tea, talking about the weather, and eating fish and chips.
Right. So you see, the Spice Girls, yes, the Spice Girls are actually seen as something that is iconically British.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The Spice Girls were a big thing. They still are. And in that little girl's defense, she probably grew up hearing certain songs played on repeat. Do you know what I mean?
This is the thing.
And that's how she wanted to represent. So I'm confused when they're saying that. And also, when they're saying it's a culture day, what? So she was representing her culture. I'm so confused.
I don't understand if they wanted her to go and represent. But this is what I'm saying, though. And it just seems, in a way, it's like sometimes people are so afraid of backlash that they're going to get in situations that then they start flipping on another side. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I feel like a lot of white people, there's this thing of racism where people are so overly scared of being racist that they overcompensate too much and still in a roundabout way end up fucking up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I just feel like in that sense, I'm not saying it's 100% true, but I feel in a way that's what's happened here. Because they don't want other people to complain, they brought up the thing themselves, when in reality, I see no issue in it.
So it's coming under cultural appropriation? Is that the correct terminology?
What, for her wearing the dress?
Well,
I don't think that's cultural appropriation. Insinuates that you are appropriating somebody else's culture that is not your own.
No. But the word appropriation, they were saying that it's not culturally appropriate.
Yeah.
How she was representing is the point that I'm making. When you think, I know what it means in the broad term, but when you just break down the two words, that's basically they're saying that culturally she was not being appropriate, but she actually was. And so it does make me then think about certain things with the cultural appropriation and so on. That is the correct terminology, right?
I'm pretty sure.
I'll hold on a second, because you know me, I don't want to be cultural appropriation. Yes, I was correct. Yeah. So with that in mind, when you brought the subject to me, it's that thing again where, where people have the issue of people that are not of a certain race adopting certain things from other races. Yeah. Now, me personally, this is just how I feel, but if you are embracing a culture that you are not from, in a correct way, because you genuinely want to experience that culture, then I don't see nothing wrong with that. It's like, for example, if I was invited to a wedding, an Indian wedding, then that required me wearing a sari, I would love that.
And no, but this is the thing. People say,
would that mean I'm being culturally inappropriate?
The way I look at it, and the way what I've seen from other people, cultural appropriation would be, let's say you're dressing up as a Bollywood woman
on a daily
for Halloween. No, for Halloween.
Oh, okay.
That's appropriating because they're making their culture a costume. Dressing up as a Native American.
But some people take it. If it's a simple hairstyle,
but see, that's
some
ridiculous.
people take it the wrong way.
And that's some people.
Do you know what I mean?
As a whole, cultural appropriation would mean making a joke or not respecting somebody's culture and either dressing a certain way or saying certain things to display that. Whereas going to a wedding and wearing, traditional setup that people in that culture would wear, that is cultural appreciation, not appropriation.
Okay, so this brings me to this thing, because obviously when you raised the subject, it made me think about other things around the subject. And there's this festival that happens every year on December the 6th called, and it's in the Netherlands, it's called Black Pete. And apparently Black Pete was St. Nicholas's, how they term it, assistant. Now, we both know that they really mean that he was his slave. Yeah. So at this festival, white people don blackface, bright red lips, and like what would be called Afro wigs then. Yes. And they're saying that it's all in good fun. But obviously, I'm looking at that and
I'm seeing this Jim Crow fucking.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's very inappropriate. Yeah. But then, so
in that sense as well, we always want to say, it dates back to how long, this is a long line of culture.
Well, and at the same time, certain things you have to break them traditions. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not cool. It's not cool at all. So there's that side of it. But let me get your opinion on this, because I remember when this couple appeared on GMTV. Okay, so it says Holly Willoughby, and this was from the Standard newspaper, and it was in 2019, 21st of January 2019. So it says Holly Willoughby in shock as white couple who identify as black claim they will have a black child. Okay, so it said there's a couple, Martina Big, she was 30 at the time, has radically altered her appearance with tannin injections to become a black woman, saying she now 100% identifies as one. The former glamour model, who was once a peroxide blonde white woman, made an appearance on the show with her husband. He's also having the injections, but he's not as dark as her. Yeah. She said that doctors have told her that if she has a baby, the baby will be black. Like, now that's a whole nother subject, because genes are still
because Michael Jackson's kids are all white.
Yes, but his partners.
Yeah, but still, considering how black he used to be before all of that happened.
Yeah, but we already know that doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter from the person's black, no matter what tone they are. They can produce children from and their partner's white.
All three of them, none of them were black. You know what I mean? So in a sense, there is a possibility that baby will come
but
out.
Like I said, that's a whole nother subject. Yeah, but the point I'm making is this woman and her husband have gone to the whole extreme of getting injections and whatnot to actually turn them black. They say they want to. I don't know if they've moved there now, but they say they want to move to Africa and all the rest of it. Now, on the other side of it, there's a TikToker. Her name is Donna Briggs. And she has basically done the same thing, but she's gone the other end. Like she's a black woman that is now white, effectively. She's got blue eyes, she's got blonde hair.
That's crazy. I've never seen the before pictures.
Do you know what I mean? And so there's that side of it as well. Like, do you know what I mean? So when you're looking at it on the grand scale of things, you say to yourself, leave the little girl alone. Let her wear the dress. When you've got people, they're changing their whole freaking identity to be a whole nother culture.
All she's trying to do is appreciate hers.
Exactly.
Because I think there would be a whole lot more backlash as well if this was the case of a black child getting kicked out of school because of them coming in a certain thing. Even if they told them no flags or whatever, there would be a whole uproar of racism and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Which, rightfully so. But in this situation, it seems, yes, people have spoke about it, but a lot more people aren't taking the little girl's side. And people are also bringing up stuff to the fact that apparently her dad's part of like some racist like groups apparently. And the speech he wrote wasn't as nice and as British culture appreciating, more so as dragging other people's. But once again, I have no idea how true this is. I do not know the ins and outs. However, for me, it just doesn't make sense because either way, the little year 7 girl didn't do anything other than show up in a cute little dress to appreciate her culture. And that's all she was aware of and all she was doing. But regardless of what everyone else was to say, that wasn't fair on her that she had to miss out on a fun day like that. You know,
when she actually followed what they instructed.
Like I know so many youths, you know, I've never actually done a culture day, but I know so many youths who put in so much effort when that time comes around, bringing in their flags, painting up their faces, putting on all their nice outfits. So why is that fair to make her miss out?
It's the same way that, like when you attended primary school, they always had every year Diwali. No shade, because you know, from studying what it was about, it's a wonderful festival. But the point I'm making is that is not part of your culture. But it was installed within the school.
But it's the same way we used to do prayers in school when it wasn't even a Catholic Christian.
There you go.
Anything. And I remember praying with some teachers. So
there you go. Do you know what I mean? And then you know, you're doing Christmas plays that really have nothing to do with the Bible and whatnot. Like, do you know what I'm saying? There's many things that they incorporated within the school, which is not of everybody's culture.
Exactly.
So how is it a problem then for a little girl to turn up in a dress that is
to tell her that you being British is celebrated every day?
Well, do you know what? Yeah, I'm not being funny. I would like to know what they mean by that exactly.
Because it's not, for me, it's like, okay, so in my household, well, me being a black female is celebrated all the time. You know what I mean? It kind of just differs in the sense of...
Yeah, we're not celebrated all the time as black females.
But in my household.
Oh, sorry, yes.
In my house. You know what I mean? But this is what I'm saying. But as a whole in general, no, I am not. So it's just like, it just depends where you are, who you go with, and in what way you're kind of trying to say that. Because personally, I don't think anyone's celebrated every day for being, you know, part of a certain culture. You know what I mean? Even to go as far. And I just think that was very disrespectful to say. And I do also wonder... who said that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I was just thinking that.
I've got so many questions. Like man, woman, black, white, other. Like, what are you? Because I'm just really curious. And that
why would you so offended by it?
Yeah, honestly. And even if to say there was a rule stipulated about no flags, that doesn't make any sense to me personally. Because any culture day
nevertheless,
everyone's
even if
flags.
it was a teacher that was like, no, this isn't cool, the head of school would still have to okay that suspension or the head of year at least then.
Well,
so
actually, not all the time. What? No, if she's just getting sent home for the day,
a teacher can just do that.
I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure. And I think it's just the head of year who would have to confirm it rather than any one proper hire. You know what I mean? But I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, you know, we don't know the school system.
No, we don't. For sure. You know what I mean? But I'm just speculating. Like, you know,
like
you would have to confirm that with somebody.
Exactly. Like somebody somewhere higher up in a higher position would have had to say, You know what I mean? And it's considering as well what kind of day it is. I personally, knowing how schools are, teachers are never chill enough to just have one teacher or even two involved. If something happens, there's probably going to be about 5 teachers around you come a certain point, people debating what's going on and whether or not you should go home or not. And if you have any different clothes with you and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh,
Or do you want to go to Lost Property? She's probably like, no, fuck that. Sorry, if I pulled up in a Spice Girls dress, I wouldn't want to go to Lost Property either. The fuck?
And here you go, because I would be sending you a scary Spice. And it would probably still have something of the Union Jack thing, because that's what they are. That's what they're British. Do you know what I mean?
This is the thing, and I just feel really peak for her, because honestly, like, what was she supposed to go as then? Like, you know what I mean? So if she dressed up as posh then, for instance, and there was nothing with the Union Jack flag on, would it still be the same issue? You know what I mean?
Because I think if you're representing your culture, of course the flag is going to come into it. This
is what I'm saying, and
because
I don't understand.
That's the first thing. All right, then.
What was she supposed to go as?
The Olympics, then. Yeah. When they do the opening ceremony and all the countries that are competing are walking round, they've got right at the front of it. They have their flag.
Yeah.
They have their flag.
So
they're even dressed in the colours of their flag.
I think so. As well, people are trying to say the reason they put a no flag rule as well was because of all the wars that are going on. They didn't want certain flags.
Well, do you know what then? You know what then? Stupid ass teachers don't have culture day. Don't have culture day.
Have so many ins and outs.
Have Universal Love Day. Yeah. And let people come in with love hearts and this, that, and the other. Yeah. Think about it. Do you know why teachers and schools like this are so annoying? When they would have them days when they'd be like, oh yeah, wet pajama day in the depths of winter. And then you'd have parents like myself that would feel compelled to run out and buy pajamas.
Yeah, because who's sending their picnic to school in the actual pajamas they sleep in? Nobody.
So some of the things that the schools think it's a good idea when they're sitting having their staff meeting and like, let's do culture day. Whose idea was that? And why did you think it was a good idea when the world is the way that it is right now? That's ridiculous. Or was you trying to unite everyone? Because you didn't, because you excluded the poor little girl. So schools, do better. This is exactly one of the reasons why I took my children out of school, honestly. But anyway, that's a whole nother podcast episode. But on that note, I think we'll leave it here this week. As always, I'm sending an abundance of love and light, and it's goodbye from me, Michelle, and goodbye from Skyla.
Bye.
Bye.